We are on Desoto Boulevard that Mr. Cooper designed in 1970. And this was an old Logan Road that the Dirks Timber Company used back and forth across the country. And we are at the 3-mile marker. It's about 18 miles long. And this is probably one of the longer private roads, which this is not that uncommon. Weyerhaeuser 3000 or Strawberry 3000 back behind us is probably nearly as long, but it was a private road built by the Dirks Timber Company and then by Weyerhaeuser. But I had some friends come out one time and tell me that they looked at this area and they thought it was beautiful, but there was just nothing here. And what you don't see is just to our left is Lake Desoto, and we're about to be at the Lake Desoto Dam, and on the right-hand side are hundreds of houses up in the woods. And we're coming down to the Carmona and DeSoto intersection, which is a business intersection. But before we get there, let me see here. Yeah, we just passed Seville, which is the road that takes you out to the DeSoto Dam. And there we go. That goes below the DeSoto Dam to the walking trail. And here we're coming up to a place where a lot of people say it should be a four-way. There are banks, dental offices, churches, everything to the right here on the right-hand side. This is the Carmona Center. And to the left, on the left-hand side here, is what we call Deborah's. Deborah's, and there's another business center just on the other side. Immediately to the left here right now is the Cortez Lake on the left, and on the right we still have businesses. And then we go into probably one of the more dense urban areas just to the right up here. My son-in-law and daughter used to live here to the right just a couple of years ago on Fuego, and some of these rides just to the right there is, there's probably, you may be able to see it through the trees, there's probably maybe 5 or 6 vacant lots in there. The better part of that area is built out, but you'd never know it because you're here. And on the other side of the road, just to our left, is Cortez. The lovely Teresa, Diane, and I are headed to Little Rock on a cloudy day. It is late May. We've had a lot of springtime rain. Our poor puppy is getting a lot of Benadryl because there's lots of thunderstorms, and we're ready for that to be over. We love the green, we love the rain, but it can be enough, if you know what I mean. The next road up here to the left would take you to what was Cortez Beach on this end of the dam. And right here at Fresno, that's the other larger development up inside there. There's just, it's more built out than you would think. It was actually what Cooper called holiday homes. And those holiday homes were many times 2 bed, 1.5 bath. They were meant for weekends. They weren't meant for large parties and lots of people and whatever. It was just a very common weekend getaway. When Mr. Cooper started this in 1970, everything was really modest. He wasn't looking for a tremendous, he wasn't looking for multimillionaires and whatever. He was looking for folks that were hardworking and many times factory workers that just had some funds, that had enough to get away and come out and have a beautiful place in the woods. You notice how tall the pines are across here. This is a very well-known area. We're coming up to the POA once again to the left. Lots of homes up in the woods. And by the way, and Diane and I both would note, ever since we left the DeSoto Dam back there on Seville, we've been paralleling the walking trail. There's a walking trail just to our left here. And that walking trail goes from the DeSoto Dam nearly all the way to the other end. Here we are at Balearic. That's the main road that goes south. This is the POA to our left. And that's been there, I got to look that up, I guess mid-'80s, because it was initially at the far west end. You're going to see some damage here in a few minutes. We had a storm come through back in last March that was very unfortunate. Luckily there was no loss of life, but it was a very, very strong storm, tore up a lot of trees. Here's the Good Samaritan Retirement Center. It's kind of a transition home. A lot of people who don't want to take care of their houses anymore, don't want to mow their yards, that kind of thing, they'll move to the Good Sam's there, Good Samaritan. And that was Cortez Road. That road back there to the left will take you across the Cortez Dam. In a minute, you'll be able to see part of the trail here on the left-hand side. And to the left of me is probably, between here and Lake Lago, is probably 400, maybe 600 acres. And there might be 12 houses, maybe. Now to the right, there's a mountain ridge to our right. And to the right, Lake Coronado is on the other side of that. To the left here, you'll see where the road, the trees were tore up. We just had a lot of high winds, had tornadic activity, and the POA can't came in and cleaned that back up and got it back up and going. It was a mess. It was a real mess. This main road was blocked for 2 or 3 days, and that's the first storm I can remember in, oh goodness, 20, 25 years that was significant. We live in a forest, so a lot of trees get knocked down now and then, but this was a major storm. And coming up the hill to the right is an area that I call the Interlagos. This is Palisandro and 2 other subdivisions. In this subdivision to the right, you can build 1,000, I think, square foot homes, and I know you can build 1,200. I believe there's 1,000 square foot minimum on the right here. Coming up to the left is a development of Mr. Brandon Tedder, which is the Segovia. No, I'm still getting it wrong. Ciega subdivision, where he built about 25 homes, beautiful, beautiful homes, and as we would say, even aged, because they're all about the same style and look, although he's a great builder and did a great job there. We're coming up on what was the Trademark Realty Center, but it's now McGraw. They have recently changed, just hadn't changed the sign yet. And once again, the beauty of the way that Mr. Cooper designed this as a master community is that you don't have to see all the homes from the street. There's a green space buffer between us and the hundreds of homes we've passed already, possibly thousands, yeah, certainly. Coming up to the HSV Church, HSV Assembly of God Church, here on the right. We're going to be crossing over. This is Goose Pond Road that runs under the village. And then here's Balboa that goes down the northwest side of Balboa. I got a secondhand show today, huh? Yeah. And then there's the Woodlands Entertainment Center, the Woodlands Auditorium. Here's the Grove Park, where they have outdoor amphitheater and concerts. Usually lit up real beautiful during the Christmas season. We have homes to the right here, brand new homes to the right that you can't see because the trees are grown between here and there, just as it was intended. The area just to the left of us was designed to have a equestrian center back behind it. They've got the land set aside, but just never did it. You know, running ponies is not cheap. Ask the people at Oaklawn; they'll tell you. Coming up to Gasoline Alley. This is the reason we call it Gasoline Alley. There's automobiles in storage. There's car places. There's dog groomers, there's car detailers. It's a storage center, but at the same time, it's a gasoline alley, brakes and suspension, that kind of thing. Right here to the left is the new daily market, the DG market, I should say. Just been open a couple of months. To the right here is Encanto and Andorra. To the right is the Balboa Lake, and these subdivisions and courts on the right-hand side actually back up to Lake Balboa. On the left-hand side is Ponce Golf Course. So they kind of took this in and really packed it pretty tight, actually. Teresa and Diane have a lot here on Saldana to the right that's lake adjacent. That's available on for sale if you want to talk to us about that. I think it's number 26 Saldana. And once again, we're driving past the golf course on the left, a beautiful Ponce golf course on the left, a monster actually, and then Lake Balboa on the right. Ponce is one of the golf courses, like all the golf courses except Desoto are built like figure eights, and that is they have a front nine and a back nine, and typically the clubhouse is right in the middle servicing both directions. So if you have a home on number 1 or number 9 or number 10 or number 18, then you have a home that is very adjacent to the pro shop, the golf course, clubhouse, all those things. And you say, well, what's the importance of that? Well, on a big golf course like Ponce, it's very, very important. I have people say, well, we're on number 14 at Ponce and we can get out and play golf anytime. No, not really. If you get in your cart, you're probably going to have a 35 to 45 minute drive back to the pro shop to sign in, unless you're, one of them outlaws that wants to play and not register. So there's that. Coming up to another Resplendor subdivision. Jeff had a home up in here. Beautiful, beautiful area. A lot of homes that are lakefront. Bellissimo and Promesa. Most of the Promesas are on the lake, on Lake Balboa. But now we're getting to the dam end of down Balboa. And I'm being a good boy and driving my 30, this is radar controlled here. And we're coming up to the DeSoto and Ponce Center. This is where RE/MAX is located, First Community Financial, Marriott Wealth Advisors, Hot Springs Village Chiropractic, Artfully Baked and Brewed. A lot of folks, a lot of fun folks, really nice people. On the left is a bank. Through the intersection and to the left is Rocky's Liquor and a couple more businesses. I think there's a financial services facility up in there. Now we're coming up into DeMonte and the new subdivision. I say new, the subdivision that Mr. Brandon Tedder at Renaissance has purchased. DeMonte entrance is here to the left, and then Mr. Brandon has purchased Pacific Villas and is now building all that out. And you say, well, that's interesting. They have homes like that here. Yeah, well, right up here on the right at Pacifica, yep. You see a sign there in the yard for sale behind the flag. Well, that sign, all those three right there, those three homes were initially in the 90s. Those were model homes that Cooper used to show what the homes look like when people came in for a tour. Now the pond you see to the left is going to be the DeMonte Pond, sorry. And if you're an interested party and want to know a lot about the village, then you're going to be very interested in what's coming up next, and that is Pizarro. Now these acres to the left were for sale at one time. That is zoned commercial. They were talking about putting rentals in there, but you have to access it from the backside. To the right here is Pizarro, which is kind of what the East End's known for, the south side of the East End. Pizarro is a large looping road that goes all the way across the golf courses, the other 27 holes of Isabella. We have Maderas that turns to the left here. It goes up to Granada Golf Course. We're crossing over the golf course path right now. That's Isabella that goes underneath us. And the course you see to the left here is Isabella. Oh, goodness. I want to say that's number 3. There's 3 pieces to Isabella. It's the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. Those are the 3 ships that Mr. Columbus brought over. And each one of the 9 hole courses is named for that. So they'll tell you, we want to go play the Nina, or we want to go play the Santa Maria. So those are out this way. And we're about to go out the east gate in just a minute. You can see it up there. You'll notice on the left-hand side, the trees have been thinned a lot. We had some pine beetles. Here's where Pizarro comes back out. And absolutely beautiful homes and lots up in that area. But the trees on the left here had to be thinned out because they had a pine beetle. And here's Mountainside Methodist Church. And as we drove through here the other day, the police officer reminded me that they meant it when they said 20 miles an hour. So I'm slowing down and not to run over the car ahead of us. And these gates close at 10 p.m. They open at 7 on this end of the village, and they close at 10 p.m. Up on the right-hand side is Cowboys Barber Shop and a rehab. I'm trying to think of the name. They won't appreciate the fact I forgot their name, but it'll be up here on the main side. We are technically outside the gates, and that is VG, Village Physical Therapy. Yeah, VGPT, Village Physical Therapy. They were in the building straight ahead here a minute ago, and when we pull out. But we're technically outside the village, but still inside the property that Mr. Cooper owns and runs. The Cooper Communities does. And gas station here to the left, to the hard right. Bank of OZK right ahead of us at the intersection. There's Bank OZK and the Eastgate Pharmacy. Eastgate Pharmacy is run by the Butlers. The Butler family has been here probably the better part of 50 years. They have one on the west end also. Immediately to the left is the most profitable entity that Mr. Cooper ever set up at the village. That's right. Immediately here to the left is Cooper Concrete. Yeah, you got to have concrete to build homes with. Now, we're just outside Owensville, and this is just Highway 5 country land, and this was known as the old military road between Little Rock and Hot Springs. It was actually known as Stagecoach Road to a lot of people. And during the heyday when when Hot Springs was in the middle of its gambling phase, its illegal gambling phase, there was a corner store up here I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. And there was a guy who was stationed there, and his job was one thing. When the state police came down this road, you called Hot Springs and told them to smash all the bottles and close all the slot machines, to close up all the wheels, all the betting wheels. So he literally was the early lookout guy. Coming up on Owensville. Before we get to Owensville, we're going to go past Kara's. Kara's Meat Packing, and they have sausages. They got music on the back deck, I hear tell, Fridays and Saturdays. I hadn't been here for that. But this is an institution. This is recently taken over by the kids. Mr. Kara, the older gentleman, I think, had passed away. And for 100 years plus, this was the only way into Hot Springs, which they called at the time the Valley of the Vapors. Beautiful, lush green roads. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. We're going to cross over the Middle Fork of the Saline River a couple of times here. We're going to Owensville Baptist Church, where my friend Mr. Jim Lagrone, who I was his music minister a couple of times, is now pastor. He was president of the Arkansas Baptist Association and worked for the Billy Graham Crusade for several years. Coming up to Greater Crows, Arkansas, just happens to be the corner of Highway 5 and Highway 9. Highway 9 will take you north up to Petit Jean. It'll take you to the National Forest. It'll take you to Lake Winona. As you can tell, a very beautiful, lush area just outside the village. Now, the area we're about to cross before we actually get to the Crows, the Greater Crows Station, is a place that the people call the Bottoms, and there's lots of bottoms here because it's, I think this is the middle fork of the Saline River. There's three forks. There's the upper, lower, and middle. And the Saline goes into the Ouachita, and the Ouachita goes on down to hit the Mississippi and Louisiana. Yeah, this is the middle fork of the Saline River, and you'll see why it's called the Bottoms in a minute. It's a very bottoms area. A lot of cattle grazing, some agriculture here, really good soil. Coming up to the fire station for Crows, which is a big thing for small town people. Come and join us for training Mondays at 6:30. Important to have volunteers in a community like this. Wonderful people. And to the left here is the Crows Station, which I haven't been here in a couple of years, but I'm told they have absolutely great food and great place to just catch up on the gossip too. And somebody's in a hurry up there. Yeah. Anyway, that's the corner of Highway 9 and 5 right there. If you turn left right there, you'll be going up and hitting Highway 10, which comes outside of Little Rock, which we'll be doing later. Down here on the right is a beautiful little pond, and about 5 years ago, Diane and I came down here and took gorgeous pictures of a old barn that was here, probably a 3 or 4 story barn that supported this farm. But that barn has been torn down just in time to put up an ugly metal building. Yeah, and I know they're trying to make it prettier, but yeah, it has a ways to go. There was a homestead up here that you could obviously tell had recently changed hands. Some older homes. Once again, beautiful pastures here. Gorgeous area. We're about to cross over another leg of the middle creek, of the middle fork of the Saline River. And this road has been rebuilt just the last couple of years. This was kind of a deadly curve not too long ago. More than one truck full of timber coming around that corner didn't quite make it. I'm sorry, the Alum Fork of the Saline River. Yep. Great fishing here. I've been here quite a while. Used to come here when I lived in Benton and go fishing at that location. Could have my hook in the water by 6 o'clock if I did it right. And one of the things I love about Highway 5 here is this canopy of trees. Nobody tries to make it do this. It's just there's so much water, and the trees just reach for all the sun they can get a hold of. You want to make sure there's a very beautiful pasture with a couple of ponies up here on the right-hand side in this next field. Once again, looks like a farmstead that's changed hands. And absolutely beautiful. I remind you, this was the old military road. and this was how you got to Hot Springs from Little Rock. There was a train in the early 1900s, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they took out the train track in the 30s or 40s and moved all to roads because those were going to be better, right? Yeah. And the Walton Foundation, that's right, the Waltons you think of with the Walmart. The Walton Foundation is paying to turn those old railroad beds into biking and walking trails. So there's going to be a trail from Hot Springs all the way up to Northwest Arkansas, which for me, that takes a tremendous amount of vision and money, but I'm really glad they're doing that. That's a fabulous idea to reconnect with bikes and walking in areas that the car has long replaced. And as little as 5 years ago, this was all timber on each side of the road. As far as the weather for today, it simply can't decide what it wants to do. By the way, here to the left, if you will turn and go through the hunting club, see the next intersection here on the left, this is a hunting club road that will take you all the way back up to Highway 10 also, which is probably the better part of 30 miles. Huge swaths of private land and private timber land in Arkansas. As you can imagine, yellow pine in Arkansas is quite the business industry. And yes, this part of the road has been straightened out back where we were going down that hill and back up that hill. That was straightened out, I guess, 10, 15 years ago. We had a tanker full of gasoline tip over on a corner, and all that gasoline went down into a creek. Yeah, that reminded the fine folks at the highway department that it was probably time to straighten out some of this road because it has a whole lot of heavy traffic on it. And once again, we're going to be coming along part of the middle fork of the Saline River, another leg of it, probably the Allen Fork. But this will be near Kentucky, Arkansas, and there was I don't know if you remember, I guess it's been 10 or 15 years ago, but there was a rash of old churches that were burning. Apparently people were setting fire to old churches, which was a tragedy in my mind. Old Kentucky up here, unfortunately, was one of those. The Kentucky Baptist Church up here had to be rebuilt. Here we go, we've got the riverbed on the right-hand side here. I imagine there were mixed emotions about the church burning down. They had a lot of great old memories in an old white frame church, but they rebuilt with a brand new beautiful brick building that we'll see in just a moment. I always love the meadows on both sides of the road here. By the way, to the right is the Saline River just across the field that you're seeing on the right-hand side. Once again, love the canopy of trees through here. It's just a magical little ride, especially on days like this when it's kind of overcast and cloudy and a little drizzly. Just an absolutely beautiful area. Little stone house there on the right. And that road right up here to the right will take you right out to the river. Right around the next corner here will be the Old Kentucky Baptist Church. The new one, the rebuilt one. Missionary Baptist Church, yeah. A name synonymous with the Little Rock auto industry is Steve Landers. And years back, Steve Landers bought the land here on the left, built a home for himself and for his mother, and those have sold and traded hands since that time. But there's a lot of new development going on behind that. The field to the right here, magnificent. And the tree line on the right-hand side, that's where the Saline River is. St. John's Chapel is up here on the right too, a little wedding chapel built specifically for weddings. The signs here though on the left that say for sale, this is Mr. Landers' homes on the left-hand side there. And way back on the right-hand side is the St. John's Chapel, way back across the other side of the creek. I always love these beautiful little ponds here. Gentleman on the right up here runs a little produce stand and carpentry store, and we get some of the best watermelons from him. And it's a trust your friend, trust your neighbor thing. It's just put your money in the box, and maybe we need more of that. Maybe we do. Coming down to the flatlands or the bottoms before you get back to the Saline River again. We're about to cross the main channel of the Saline River at a little place we call Riverside. And Riverside Grocery, institution in this area. They have karaoke on weekend nights, and it's right beside a game and fish landing. So you can come put your boat in, kayak up and down, canoe up and down the road. It's a free stream, so it's never been dammed. So the water can be really high or it can be really low. You just taking your chances. And here's the North Fork Relief. You see the fields on the left-hand side. Makes for great bottomlands. And we're crossing the North Fork of the Saline River, which Diane and I like to take our granddaughter there and splash around in the creek. There's Riverside Grocery. Immediately to the left is Mulberry, which, as I was a child, I was told that was the Desoto Trail. And the reason it said that is because there was a marker there that said that they believed that Desoto had come down this part of 5 into Hot Springs, where he found the Valley of the Vapors, but he actually had come through what we call the Salem area now. And this twisty little curvy piece of road, imagine this 100 years ago at night on a stagecoach. Yeah. Interesting piece of ground. Well, 100 years ago they would have probably been using Model A's. Well, let's try 140 years ago. Again, immediately to the right, there's some beautiful homes up in the woods, but on the other side of that, there's the Saline River, which is actually one of the water supplies for the city of Benton. We're coming into Benton right now. Once again, super lush, super curvy. On a dry day in a Mercedes, this is a whole lot more fun. In a SUV, you want to watch your step. It can get slippery around some of these corners. Yeah, a little curvy through here. Like I say, in a high-performance car, it's a lot of fun on dry pavement. A lot of history along this road. Like I say, we're coming into Benton right now. When I was a kid, I grew up here in the 70s, and we remember Charlie Rich. When we get behind closed doors, the most beautiful girl, they named him the Silver Fox. He lived a very unassuming, non-rock star life by being in a little subdivision up here on the right. Just a normal home like everybody else. And it was a very, very nice, humble, mellow guy. We just, he didn't care too much for John Denver, but, there's that. So, anyway, on the right-hand side up here, we're going to have the Lyle Park access to the Saline River. And you saw where the white car is turning there, and also to go to Lyle Park. Just here to the right was where Mr. Charlie Rich lived down that road, just about 3 or 4 houses on the right. Just everyday man, every kind of guy. I appreciate you joining us with us on this trip to Benton. I know a lot of people have asked about this. I want to remind you, the West Gate in Hot Springs Village on Highway 7, I'll say it again, the West Gate on Highway 7 in Hot Springs Village, right beside the McDonald's and the Cranford, the Brookshire's stores and all that, that is open 24/7, 365. So that's your access point into Hot Springs Village, 24 hours a day, 365, years and years and years. Now, the gate we just drove out of a few minutes ago, yeah, that gate opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 10. And when it closes at 10, you can have a significant drive to get around to the other gate. So if you're coming this way, it might be a good idea to get here before 10. And we're about to come up to the interstate.
Swap your card.
Oh, Teresa Diane makes a great point. I'm sorry. If you are a member of the village and you have a card, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can swipe your card at the East Gate, or actually 4 other unmanned gates. You can swipe your card 24 hours a day. But for manned access, if you're a visitor or a guest, then yeah, you need to go to the manned gate. But once again, members can buy a $10 what we call HID, a high intensity reader card, HID, H-I-D, and you get to have access through any of those unmanned gates all the time. I'll remind everybody, even when you come through an unmanned gates, yeah, I've been a licensed security manager for about 20 years. Yeah, there's some really good cameras right there at the gate coming in and going out. So although you're at an unmanned gate and you're swiping your card in the middle of nowhere, smile, you're still on camera. Dennis Simpson, Hot Springs Village Venues. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Don't delay. Call Janae. Janae Cook, Taylor Realty, 501-617-9747. Whether you're buying, selling, or just considering. Oh, we don't need a realtor yet. Yes, you do. Don't delay. Call Janae. 501-617-9747. Hot Springs Village Venues is brought to you by KVRE at 92.9 and streaming worldwide on iHeartRadio. KVRE is your family-owned local hometown radio station, so be sure and tune in for live local programming, news, sports, and information every day at 92.9. HSV Radio. HSV Radio is heard every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. or streaming on any of the major platforms. Hot Springs Village Radio is an eclectic mix of music, motivation, great music history, and Saturday morning fun. Join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., 92.9. And brought to you by the Hot Springs Village Voice, Hot Springs Village only newspaper, also serving all of Saline and Garland County.
your local newspaper for local events. No one else has more local news than the Hot Springs Village Voice about the Hot Springs Village area. Sign up today at hsvvoice.com or call 501-623-6397. Again, that's 501-623-6397. Located at 3576 North Highway 7 in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, just in front of Walmart. Brought to you by Gotta Go Vacations. www.gottagovacations.com. Troy Woods and Patrick Cunningham at 501-204-4805 can help you with any of your travel needs. Patrick and Troy have been airline stewards for decades, and their experience and their travel can serve you well. GottaGoVacations.com, again, that's GottaGoVacations.com, can help you book the perfect tour for you, whether it's a riverboat cruise up the Mississippi or the Rhine. These guys are who you need to call. 501-204-4805. Troy or Patrick, 501-204-4805. GottaGoVacations.com. D&D Village Properties, Hot Springs Village only short-term rental with over 2,100 five-star reviews. All properties are lakefront. They include complimentary kayaks, hot tub, pet-friendly, and a stunning view of the lake. Visit DD Village Prop today for your vacation getaway.